Tran. Perfect. Okay, +4. Well, that was fun. Remember seeing before?
Gregory Bowers, Dasha Antipova, Stephanie Jockman, Geraldine Paredes, Andel Husbands, Oliver Vera, Jack Dickens, Irene Orisha, Max Orinelli, Courtney Cadogan, Sierra Rose. Monday, July 10th, 2017. Coming to you from the beautiful University of South Florida campus in Tampa, it's USF Housing Live! All right. Welcome, everyone. I don't know if they can hear me. We're having some technical difficulties tonight. Are we in? We're here. Welcome, everyone. This is USF Housing Live. My name is Gregory Bowers with Housing and Residential Education. We are the best place to live, the best place to work, and the best place to learn. We're also the lightning capital of the world here in Tampa. Well, I'll let everyone know we are starting a little late, and we are hoping to keep the power on campus, but we have a major, severe, super evil storm currently hovering over campus right now. Wishing all of you well who are joining us from under an awning somewhere in orientation on campus, and from everyone else watching in the U.S. and around the world. My name is Gregory Bowers. We are so happy to have you here. We've got an amazing group of experts. We're going to be joined by Dr. Jennifer Schneider from the Ombuds Office. Welcome, Dr. Schneider.
Thanks, good to be here.
Also here is Dr. Lindsay Davidson from the Honors College. Welcome, Dr. Davidson.
Hi, nice to be here.
Glad to have you here. And of course, we have got one of our own, the amazing Irene Orisha from Housing and Residential Education. Irene, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Greg.
Well, how about we get started with some questions for you? How's that sound?
That sounds great.
But before we do that, I'm going to interject and interrupt myself and let you know, if you're watching, type your question in the comments. They'll send it to me right here live on the set, and we'll answer you in real time. So if you have a question for me or any of our guests during the show, please send them our way. So, Irene, who are you and what do you do here?
Well, I'm Naireen. I'm an international student from Bangladesh, majoring in Mass Comm, and I'm also one of the public relations assistants for USF Housing.
And so happy to have you here on the set, not working tonight, of course.
Oh yeah, that's great. Normally I'm like shut off in the other room, but it's great to be here now.
Happy to have you as a cast member. And Irene's normally the individual working on our social media for all of you there, pretending to be me, I think. That's one of the questions there. And so you said you're an international student. What was it like transitioning to USF?
The transition was actually quite smooth for me. I mean, one of the deciding factors for me for coming to USF was when I joined the Facebook pages, I started interacting with everyone, and it was refreshing how diverse and inclusive everyone was, because one of my biggest pet peeves was how it would be received coming to a completely new place. And then I moved into a residence hall over here, living in Castor, which is traditional, and they're not kidding when they say it's the most social hall out there.
Awesome. And so you lived on campus, you had a good experience I hear, and there was something interesting that you had told me about, and that's the bathroom in Castor. What was your experience like living in a place with a community bathroom?
Well, community bathroom is where all the friendships happen, and one of my favorite stories is, well, it's like a competition every time before a shower. Everyone runs in and who plays their music. So I was showering with my playlist on, and someone from all the end on the other side of the stall, they just start singing along and say, hey, that's a lit playlist, and without even seeing them, we're like friends in the shower.
If I may translate, for those of you who are not a student or an incoming college student, a lit playlist, I believe, is a positive, a well-received playlist that you enjoy.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure for the folks that are over 25, don't look at me like an old man. I'm 22. A little awkward, that's getting laughter, but okay. So, Irene, why did you actually choose USF? What brought you here?
Well, USF, like I said, when I was in the class pages, I started interacting with anyone. There were so many opportunities to get involved, and for me, it was about the whole college experience, not just a degree. So I wanted to make the most out of college.
Awesome. And so, traditional halls, we've said for years, are first-year students only. Is that still true?
It was true for my time, for Castor and Beta, but now the village has Beacon and Summit, which has both traditional and suite styles, and anyone can live there.
I like the shameless plug. All right, so the village. The village is something that might be totally new to a lot of people. So you and I were actually over there not too long ago doing some live streams and some filming, and that was a pretty good time, right?
Yeah. You want to look at them?
I think we should check it out. Yeah, we got some photos, so thanks for the setup, Irene. And so Dasha's our director. If we can look at a photo of Beacon Hall, is that working for us? We're having some trouble, and so we're just letting everyone know we're in an interesting situation here because the power went out 3 minutes before we went live, and so we're currently having some challenges. And so Dasha's just over in the director's seat. She's actually going to drag those pictures into the program again for us because the technical side kind of breaks a little bit. in. So is that working for us? We need some more time. We need some more time before we can drag those photos in. So we'll come back to that in a moment. We'll come back over here tonight and talk to you a little bit further about the village. So the village has got some new opportunities for students. It's got different type of traditional bathrooms. Can you tell us about those?
Well, there won't just be one traditional bathroom, there will be a few, and the vanities, they're really pretty and sparkly. I mean, I'm jealous. Honestly, congratulations to the inaugural students.
I remember you talking about the sparkly bathrooms because they've never been used, it's brand new. And so the best way I describe them is by calling them boutique bathrooms, because in the village, though we have traditional styles, it's a different spin. It's a modern traditional where there are multiple bathrooms throughout the wing of all the traditional rooms. And so instead of what normally is a large community bathroom for an entire wing, is now broken up into these smaller boutique bathrooms. And so we've got those photos here. So let's start on the outside. I'm going to show you Beacon Hall. Let's look at the exterior of Beacon Hall. Ooh, fancy. And so Beacon has got these cool active lounges. You can be real noisy in the center there. And then the ends of all the wings, you have these quiet lounges. So that's really cool. It's in every village building, both Beacon and Summit. Let's go inside here. Take a look at the furniture. You're seeing a medium loft there. It raises up to 5 feet high. It's all hardwood, darkwood, very, very nice, very high quality. And what's also really cool are the desks. Let's check out the desk up close and personal there. And you can see that we actually have a little rollaway section. We have a close shot of the desk available. Let's see if we've got that. There it is. And so the dresser, or the drawers to the desk actually wheel away, so you can keep them under the desk or move them around to suit whatever it is you've got going on over there. So that's very cool. Let's take a look at the boutique bathroom. You can see the dual vanity Natalie was talking about earlier. Very fancy. And there's something else that's really cool that works well in the space is the barn doors. Let's see the next picture there. These doors slide out of the way. And so can we go back to the external shot real quick? And so we were talking about this before the show. Let's look at the outside shot of Beacon. But it's not just hangout space, not just living space, but also classes can be in there. And Dr. Davidson, you have something to share with us about that.
That's right. Next semester, I'll be teaching my Dominican Republic class in Beacon in a classroom. So I'm very excited about a brand new space and getting to see what's happening in housing at USF.
Very cool. I'm very happy to have you teaching right there in the village. It's super exciting. Folks, so you know, there is still time to apply to live on our campus, but you don't use the room selection process. You just indicate your preferences, and then we put you where we can. So there's plenty of space in the village right now. If you want to get into the suite style or traditional style of Beacon or Summit, there are spaces available. So definitely check that out. We're going to have more time.
As an international student, I've had no problems. I honestly consider this my second home because there's so many other international students here. I get a chance to meet people from so many different countries and I've never felt like a stranger, so that's great. Being an international student, you would think that at times you'd feel unfamiliar or you'd be a stranger, but USF makes it really easy to transition from where you're from to coming here, and they basically make it your second home. I think it's really important to stay connected with friends and family back home because that itself helps you not to feel homesick. And in such a technological age, it's so easy for this to happen. There's Facebook, there's WhatsApp, there's iMessage. So just be sure to check up on your friends and family every now and then.
Welcome back, everyone. So again, another technical difficulty where I guess our audio stayed on and our cameras. And so this is what happens when you lose power 3 minutes before the show begins, is everything breaks down. But you know what's not broken? All of us here in the room, okay? Just our equipment, okay? And so we're gonna keep rolling with it, making sure everyone can hear us okay. So we're asking our social media team to let us know that everyone's coming through okay. And so while we're doing that, we'll of course jump right in with Dr. Lindy Davidson. Dr. Davidson, thank you for braving the storm and coming out here today.
Oh, no problem, Greg. I'm a Floridian now, so I'm used to it.
And so can you tell us, who are you and what do you do here?
Well, like you said, my name is Lindy Davidson, and I teach medical humanities in the Honors College. In addition to that, I work on creating internships for our students.
All right, and so now you teach in the health communication area, and can you tell us more about that and why you chose that area of study?
So my PhD is in health communication, meaning that I'm a communication specialist, but I look particularly at communication in healthcare. So I chose that area of study because of my oldest son, who's now 15, but when he was born, he had a lot of medical issues, and he was in a neonatal intensive care unit for 4.5 months. He's had a lot of surgeries, including a kidney transplant. So I've spent a lot of time in the medical setting, and I noticed a lot of communication gaps that existed there. So when I went back to school, I wanted to see what I could do and how I could engage in training people going into the medical profession in better communication.
And so, can you tell us more about the courses that you're teaching?
So this last year I taught 2 courses, one called Ethics at the End of Life and the other one called Culture and Disability. Then this coming year I'm going to be teaching a course on global health in the Dominican Republic.
Awesome. And so there's a service trip to the Dominican Republic for
Yes.
honors college students, right?
That is correct. So the students enrolled in my class will be automatically also enrolled into this trip to the Dominican Republic, which is a health service trip. We'll do a mobile medical clinic with a doctor who started an initiative there about 10 years ago in the Dominican to serve impoverished communities. So students will learn about the Dominican and health in the Dominican Republic in the classroom, but then when we get there, they get an opportunity to see in real life, in the flesh, the people that they've been thinking about and preparing for, but also to get to engage and have a cultural experience like no other. It's a lot of fun, and students usually walk away quite changed and inspired to go and really make a difference in healthcare.
And so, have you done these trips before yourself?
I have.
So what are some of the main takeaways you see students get out of this experience?
Well, one of the things that I teach my students is that health is not just about diagnosing and treating an illness, but it's about culture. It's about the political structures that a person has to engage with, and it's also about a person's agency. Are they able to enact change in their circumstances to improve their health? And so when my students go with me, we've talked about these things, but then they can see how a bad road could impact someone who doesn't have good mobility. So if they can't walk well, if they don't have a wheelchair, how are they supposed to get to school? How are they supposed to get to work? How are they supposed to get to a medical clinic? And they can see that. But then at the same time, we stay in people's homes, and so we also get to experience the Dominican hospitality, Dominican cooking, which is really excellent, and dance and everything else. It's a wonderful trip. I really enjoy getting to go.
What I'm hearing is students should sign up for this trip. Excellent, excellent. And so where do students go to learn more about this opportunity or other study abroad perhaps?
Well, there are a lot of study abroad opportunities at USF. So through Education Abroad, which is through the USF website, you can go to Education Abroad and learn about the many, many trips that are available for students. And at USF, we really do like to create global citizens, we call us ourselves, and so that we don't just talk about the world, we go and we experience the world.
Awesome. And so what other new areas are you exploring in the Honors College?
Well, I'm looking at internships right now, and some of the internships we can engage with. For example, we had some guest lecturers come into my Global Disabilities course last semester, and through engaging with them, we learned about an African Renaissance Ambassadors program in Cameroon, and some of our students created a health initiative for epilepsy patients in Cameroon, and actually 2 of them got to go with me to Harvard Medical School to present at a Global Health Catalyst Conference at Harvard last spring. That was pretty exciting to get to be a part of that.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, Honors College students, you got lots of opportunity and study abroad for everyone, it sounds like. So
Right.
that's great. We're just about out of time, but I do have a little bit of time. I want to ask you, what advice do you have for parents of students that are about to make this big transition to college?
Well, I would say that sending your child off to college has got to be one of the many exercises in mobility of a child. You know, they learn to walk, and then they learn to go off on their own with their friends, and then they learn to drive, and now they're going off and living off away from your home. But this is all a really exciting part of growing and becoming an adult. And I know as a parent, I want my children to become responsible adults and to be able to live and to engage with their community and in service. And there's a lot of emphasis on service learning, on experiential learning, going out into the world and becoming not just someone who has a lot of head knowledge, but someone who can practice in the world. And I think USF is a great place to do that.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Davidson, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for letting me be here.
And so we're going to take a short break. Next, we're going to be talking with Dr. Jennifer Schneider from the Ombuds Office. But first, another installment of A Year with Celeste and another special video about something called Bull Hall. More USF Housing Live coming your way right after this.
To students that are worried about their class load or not making friends or just anything about college in general, I would say to try and find some sort of outlet to release that stress, whether it be sports or for me it's art, to try not to worry so much about packing everything in your room. I know that when I was packing, I thought that I would die if I didn't have all of my clothes and stuff, but it really makes it easier if you pack things you know you'll need and leave stuff behind and not worry so much, because if you do need those things, you could always get them mailed to you. For students connecting with their families on their first year, I would just recommend texting at least once a day, just checking in, tell them that you're doing okay, that you're still alive, you're doing well in your classes, and they'll really appreciate it in the long run. I would say to any student moving in for the first time with their families, just to let loose and let your parents make your bed, help you move in, and to not worry so much because everyone's going through the same thing. So advice I would give to any incoming freshman would be just to be yourself, not worry so much, try and get involved and talk to as many people as possible, because it will really make your first year and probably your following years really memorable.
Think about your first time in college. I couldn't wait to move in and put up my decorations. I think it's safe to say that moving in is one of the most exciting parts of the college experience, and Bull Hall gave me a chance to do that early and for free and be ruler of the hallways. I'm just kidding. But I did feel special already being a part of something that massive on grand opening day. Everybody coming in, seeing me in the exclusive t-shirt, knowing I'm a part of something that put this whole day together for the entire campus. The commitment or the actual work part of it was only a 4-hour shift, but everything that came before and after honestly made me feel like it was all just a big hangout full of free food and swag and free food. The training session with the hilarious short film, stuffing our faces with pizzas right after, the smoothie social where you get to spray paint Gregory Bowers' hair green. We basically had the best head start on college. That's why I volunteered both the years that I was here, and now I get to be coordinator. My honest advice to you guys is to not miss out on this opportunity. I want you to apply for Bull Hall.
Welcome back, everyone. This is USF Housing Live. My name is Gregory Bowers, and we are the best place to live, the best place to work, and the best place to learn. We're now talking with the best student ombuds person, Dr. Jennifer Schneider. Did I say that right? Is it ombuds or ombuds person? How's that go?
The original word was ombudsman, which they say is gender neutral, so we use ombuds person, or I just say ombuds.
Oh, the ombuds. Well, welcome. So tell us more about what it is that you do here.
Sure. I serve as a confidential, independent, neutral, sort of third-party resource for students who have concerns or complaints about the institution. I'm essentially the complaint office.
And so you've mentioned that it's confidential. So why does this office exist at USF? And you can take us through what that confidentiality means to students who will come to you.
Sure. Well, the state, there's a state statute that says that every public institution in Florida has to have an ombuds of some kind. Not all of them have full-time ombuds. And so we're fortunate here at USF that the administration really wanted to be able to hear from students and hear the challenges that students are encountering here, either with faculty or staff, policies, practices that are here. And we wanted to give students a safe place to be able to express those. And so confidentiality for us in our Ombuds Office on the Tampa campus includes everything, including issues related to Title IX, sexual harassment, crime. The only thing that I would report if a student came to me is some imminent risk of harm to self or others. But it really allows the students to vent, to talk through their struggles and their issues and their challenges, and to allow me to understand the full scope of whatever challenges students might experience here. So we certainly hope students never have to utilize our office, but I think it's a really healthy practice for USF to want to hear from students who may be encountering some issues that are hard to deal with.
Well, can you provide some just general examples of issues students have brought to your office and ways in which your office helps them?
Sure. Certainly, because it's confidential, I can't give any explicit details, but students will come if they have concerns about grading or concerns about an instructor if they feel that one of their professors is being unfair. They may also bring concerns about some administrative practice, that that a decision was made that they didn't feel was right, that it wasn't reviewed fairly. Some of it's customer service-like, that people were not nice to them, and we want to hear those things as well. And so it really varies depending on the type of student. I would see undergraduate students, graduate students, and students from USF Health, so it varies.
So do you have any advice for students when you think about the issues that they would bring to your attention? What advice do you have for them to help them even avoid having it come to that point?
Sure. Well, USF is necessarily bureaucratic. We're a big place. We depend heavily on policy and systems and practices for the masses. And so I would suggest that for incoming students that you really become familiar with your records, that you familiarize yourself with OASIS, know how much money you owe, know what classes you're enrolled in. Things change sometimes, so you just really want to be on top of it. With housing, I would say read the contract, even the students, not just the parents, and look at what you're signing, because that becomes critical. And this is adulting at its finest, if you will, the first step in really taking responsibility for some of those legal decisions that you're making.
I like that you shared that it's adulting at its finest, because we have some parents who I think more want to take the reins and do it themselves. And so what do you think about that, if parents fill out all the contract, do all the paperwork on their own?
Well, first, I'm a parent of a college student, and so I appreciate the involvement of parents. I think that's critical. We know that students who have appropriate parent involvement do really, really well. And so I do encourage that, but at the same time, there's a tendency sometimes to just want to do that for our student and to take over, because they're not really going to understand it anyway, and they're too young to sign a contract, when at the university, they're considered adults. And so information that they share that's available to the university is sometimes not even available to parents. We try to work directly with the student and bring them along developmentally, and trying to take on some of that responsibility and understand the terms and the consequences of those decisions that they're making here.
And so something that parents and students alike hear often when they start the experience is this thing called FERPA. Can you just give us an overview of what FERPA is and how it matters to students?
Sure. FERPA is a federal law, and so it prevents parents like me from knowing every bit of detail that we might want to know about our students. Things like grades, things like money. As silly as that sounds, even if a parent is paying for a student's tuition, that information may not be available. And there are waivers that can be signed, but essentially in my office, I just think developmentally it's best for the student to be engaged and involved. And so anytime a parent asks for information, whether it's FERPA protected or not, I encourage them to engage the student, and then we can move forward a lot more effectively that way.
Great, thank you. And so also respecting confidentiality, what's the best way for a student to contact you?
I discourage email, because Florida also has a very broad public records law that would allow someone to be able to retrieve emails if that ever became necessary. And so I always encourage a phone call. I think my website is on the screen, or maybe even in the comments on Facebook. Yep. So good. And so if you go to that website, there's an email address there if you just want to say, I want to request an appointment, but there's also a phone number. I really prefer that. I am one Ombuds among thousands and thousands of students, and so appointments are always best, and I would love to hear from any students who experience challenges here.
Great. Well, Dr. Schneider, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to take another short break, everyone. We've got something to tell you about Facebook, something to tell you about Magnolia, and another teaser video for The Village opening this fall. More USF Housing Live coming your way right after this.
Hey, my name's Stephanie. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Jill. I live in Castor.
I live in Beta.
I'm a health sciences major, and I love binge watching Netflix.
You binge watch Netflix? I binge watch Netflix. What's your favorite movie?
Okay, we'll say it at the same time.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Rocky! Oh! Let's be friends.
Okay.
Introduce yourself in the group. Meet other bulls and make friends. A stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. Only strangers in the 2021 group are potential friends. Friendships are the responsibility of the individuals involved. Your experience may vary. Go Bulls.
Magnolia Apartments, housing approximately 480 residents, features apartment-style living with 4 people sharing a bathroom. Every resident is provided a bed, desk, chair, and dresser. Nearby, there is a volleyball court and several picnic tables. There are also graduate student units. The laundry facilities for Magnolia are located in close proximity near the Magnolia office. Residents of this hall enjoy the quiet atmosphere surrounding the area and the short walk to Juniper Poplar's first floor facilities. The Magnolia area has a new workout facility, which has rapidly gained popularity since its opening. Living by the pool is one of the best features of this area. Right next to the College of Engineering, Magnolia is a very popular choice for engineering students.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Gregory Bowers with Housing and Residential Education at the beautiful University of South Florida in Tampa. We are the best place to live, the best place to work, the best place to learn, and the best place to get your questions answered. Got a few live questions here. Nyrene, this one is for you. Can international students be RAs?
Yeah, definitely. Lots of international students are actually RAs. The application comes out in fall. I'd say be on the lookout in the class of 2021 group.
Got it. Excellent. Thank you, Nyrene. Got another question. I think I can field this one. Natalie would like to know, when Beacon and Summit open, will construction be continuing on the other buildings in the village, and will it affect activity in the village? And so, yes, we have 3 more residence halls, Endeavor, Pinnacle, and Horizon Hall, that are being constructed. Now, Horizon's just south of Beacon, and you can actually see on our construction page at usf.edu/housing, click About Us, and then you can see the village construction project. You'll see that we've put up a lot of the building that's nearest to Beacon to help minimize construction noise and sound so it won't impact you negatively during the day. Also, construction doesn't start too early in the morning, and if there is any special construction, we'll send you an email, we'll send you a little note to let you know about that so you can be prepared. But for the most part, you shouldn't expect too much disturbance at night or early morning, and so it will be kept to a minimum so that your residential experience can be the greatest possible. So we'll make sure to let you know if anything like that comes out. And I have another question here about an update for students who applied for Bull Hall and are moving into Summit or Beacon. What does that look like? Yes, as of right now, there is no early arrival for Beacon or Summit. That means your move-in date is as early as Thursday, August 17th, which is our grand opening date. If anything does change, know that we're going to send you an email, and of course, we'll post updates in the USF Class of 2021 Facebook group. If you are a student that needs to arrive early and you're living in Beacon or Summit, please email us at housing@usf.edu from your student email account and include your UID in the message, letting us know what the situation is so we can be ready to assist you. So go ahead and send that email. We'll be happy to help. My name is Gregory Bowers. This has been USF Housing Live. We love serving you in this capacity. Thanks for watching. Thank you to our amazing student crew and to all of our cast members for joining us. But I'm forgetting something. There's just one last thing. Go Bulls! We'll see you next time.